Jennifer here with BuddyDogShop. Joining me today is Buddy. Buddy was out digging holes this morning, so he hasn't caught his second wind yet. I figured I would take advantage of this and do a video while he was quiet and calm. Anyway, I've had a lot of people this past week come to me regarding vitamins and supplements, and I wanted to go over with you what I do for my own pets and why. I make a vegetable slop. I call it that just because I am gathering all these different vegetables that are a little past their due date in my refrigerator and putting together something that's going to benefit my dogs. Now, you can do vitamins, you can do, different supplements and stuff, but I feel that God gave us these wonderful tools to use. Why process them and turn them into something, taking away all the nutrients? So I like to go for the basics. So when I'm at the grocery store, I overbuy my vegetables to make sure I do have some stuff that I can use for them. And what I like to do is I like to leave them in my refrigerator, a week or 2 weeks until they've broken down naturally. I don't mean gathering mold on them or anything, but really broken down because I think that the liver has to process so much stuff over the years. Most dogs are on kibble, and their systems have to work so hard to break some of these, these foods down for dogs that, I want to do some of the work. I want to take some of the work out of, having the dogs do it. So I put everything, I have it naturally broken down, and then I also, on top of that, put it into the food processor to break it down even further, and that's where I come up with my vegetable slop. Now, this weekend I made a vegetable slop, and I'm going to demonstrate how much Buddy loves it in a few minutes, but once he knows I actually have it here, he'll no longer be laying down. So I'm going to get through this before I show you what that is. So today's vegetable slop consisted of kale, which is great for vitamin K, and then I have purple top turnips, which is a wonderful cancer preventer. I never knew that before, but the benefits, the vitamins in there is tremendous, so why not give it to my pups early on and help prevent something in the future. I also do carrots, which have vitamin A. There were some carrots that just looked like they were not perfectly edible anymore, so I decided to put that in there. I did banana with the peel, zucchini with the peel. Now, the reason I keep the peel on is because all of the vitamins are stored in the peel. That's where most of the nutrients are. So I keep the peels on. With the banana, which is high in potassium, I cut off the top and the bottom because I don't need extra stuff for my food processor. I have to work harder. And with the zucchini, I make sure it's not a large one so that, there are a lot of seeds inside, because you never want to put seeds, give seeds to your dogs. There are toxins inside of the seeds that cause problems. So make sure everything is cleaned up properly for them. I also did a sweet potato today with a lot of fiber. I did an orange with the peel, tons of vitamin C for them. And I also did parsnips and dandelion greens. Now, dandelion greens are a great liver detoxer. And yes, I wrote a list because I wanted to make sure that everything was covered that I put in today, so you knew what I was giving them. Now, dandelions, to detox the liver, I put that pretty much in every time I do a vegetable slop. It's just a little bit. You can get them at the grocery store. They're fresh, and I freeze them so that I can pull them out whenever I need them, because I don't want to give them too much at one time. But while, whatever they may get into, whatever foods they may have, your liver still needs to be detoxed once in a while. And I think it's a great cleansing thing. And it also, to protect the liver, it's important too. So I always add a little bit of that in there as well. And you can get that, in a couple different forms, whether it be a tincture form, liquid, or just the pure, which I, again, go for the natural, more natural, the better. So I do that, and I make the vegetable slop, and I come up with this little green container I have here full of this stuff. And what I do is I put, with the larger dogs, I put 2 tablespoons in each meal, and generally the container of the stuff will last me, just a few days. But I know within the few days, those dogs are getting so much of the required nutrients that they're not going to find in a standard dog food. So if you still want to stick with your kibble, that's fine, but do this as something to benefit them. Just do this as something little that you can kind of add on to each meal or every other meal. It's a slow start, but you know what? It's only going to benefit them in the future. But you want to make sure you're not giving them too much, because too many vegetables will only end up with a little bit of diarrhea, so, nobody wants that. But then again, you have your pumpkin to help you with that, so you're always got to keep your bases covered. So anyway, that's one thing that I do with them on a regular basis. And then the second thing I do, I prepare on the weekends a coconut oil mix. Now what I do is, and I find that when I'm giving my dogs additional supplements outside of the natural foods, like such as turmeric and what do I use? I use turmeric, bone broth, a bunch of different things. But I think that the coconut oil, because it has its liquid form, it absorbs faster in their systems. It actually goes into their bloodstream. It doesn't just come out fast. So if you're just going to give them supplements on top of their kibble, it's more than likely going to be right in and out of their system so fast that it might not have made a difference. But with the coconut oil as a base, when you're mixing this stuff together, it actually absorbs into them faster, just like any liquid would, and they get more benefit from it. So I always mix my supplements with a coconut oil base. So I do my coconut oil today. I did my coconut oil. I did the bone broth. Now bone broth is great for pain management. It's also great for joint health, and it's great for digestive issues. And also it actually helps with allergies. So dogs that have allergies, throw a little bone broth in there, mixed with the coconut oil into their food, and that might actually help with their seasonal allergies. It's a great tool to have. Now, being vegetarian, I'm not going to mix up a bunch of bones and let them boil on my stove. I might actually end up getting sick. So what I do is I do cheat on that one. But anyone that's a meat eater is probably okay with it. That's the best way to go. But I buy a bone broth from the Honest Kitchen. They came out with it not too long ago, but I've been using that and it's wonderful. So I add that. And now it does have turmeric in it, but because, I'm not all trusting on the forms of turmeric that everyone uses, I add my own in as well, because I know where it came from. I know my supplier and whatnot. So I add extra turmeric, which is great also for the arthritis and pain management, as well as the bone broth. Now, I also put kelp seed in. Now, kelp seed has I couldn't read my handwriting for a minute, has great benefits for glandular health. So anything with thyroid or pituitary glands, it's really going to prevent issues with that. So just a little bit of kelp seed once in a while, within that is great for them. So, and then I also put spirulina, which is an algae, and it reduces inflammation and infections. So, that, the mix of all the stuff that I put together on the weekends, I give Buddy and Cooper as preventative, and then I give Root and Tootin' and Rusty, because they're older, a little bit every day. So they're still getting all those nutrients and everything, all those extra supplements. And with the coconut oil, it's really absorbing in their system and not just going right through. So I think that, on a regular basis, with the raw diet that we're doing and all these little things, my dogs are healthier than I can have ever imagined them being, just on a kibble diet. But as I said, if you want to just keep with your kibble, you're worried about cost and things like that, you're going to throw away your vegetables at the bottom of the refrigerator anyway that you're not going to use. Why not benefit your dog with them, Just make sure you're using things that are okay for animals. I did put out a book called The Raw Diet, which you can get on my website, BuddyDogShop1.com. And it's a very basic book to help the beginner learn the right vegetables and fruits and what all the different, as I tried to explain, because my memory's not 100% great, so I wanted to write everything down so to make sure I gave you the right information. But in the book, it explains every single vegetable, fruit, and the benefits that they have for your dogs. So I would recommend starting off with something like that too. Now, you've made a lot of different steps. I'm hoping with the flea and tick prevention, stop using all these different chemicals. But now you want to, really make a difference with their diets too. So I think this is another great start. So do you want to see how Buddy enjoys his vegetable slop? Come here, Buddy. Guess what Mommy got for you? Oh, what's this? What's this? Is this veggie slop? Oh, yes, he's excited. Okay, it's green. Okay, he could eat the whole thing if he wanted to. It's green, it's mushy, but it's really, really good. There you go, bud. You're gonna make a mess here, aren't you? Yes, you are. He would eat the whole container if he could. But of course I wouldn't let him because he'd have problems all day in the backyard, wouldn't you? You want another bite though? Okay, hold on. So I think with the breaking down of the natural things like the bananas, that gives us the sweetness that they're looking for, that they want, and it gives them all the nutrients with the kale. I'll give you one more little taste. That's my bud. That's my bud. Good boy. So as I said, this container will probably last me a few days with 4 dogs, but it's really packed full of nutrients. So this is kind of, the kind of things that I do that on a regular basis. And yes, it does take time. It takes time for, out of your weekend, no more sitting there watching TV, and chilling out. I really focus, I believe that taking the time that, I make these things for them is just going to keep them in my life a lot longer. And that is so important to me. So I hope this was informative, and keep your comments coming, and please keep asking me for the advice, and I really appreciate y'all tuning in when you get the chance to. So thank you, take care, have a great day. It's going to be a gorgeous one.